Hello, and welcome back to another summarizing session. For a new. This is what? This is, yeah, part one. For a new book. It's called Shane by Jack Schaefer. Okay, I've got my copy right here. It's my book, Shane. And let's see. Oh, I should find out when this was published. It says 1949. So even before my parents were born, 75 years ago. Yeah, 75 years ago. Okay, wow. So pretty long time ago. Part one. This is going to be chapters 1 through 3. And let's get right into it. Or actually, no, hold on. Let's not get into it. So summarizing. So why summarize? There's, I think, so this video series is for my students who I teach here in Japan. And, you summarize. Well, summarize is a short version, a simple version of something, of a story, a movie, a message. That's the goal of, it's one part. It's a part of the goal. So, for example, we have to, listen or read information. We have to, information comes into our mind, into our brains. And then we have to, understand it, listen, read information, kind of get it in. But then, that's not enough. You have to do one more step. You have to then, I think, communicate it. Communicate it to someone else. That's really the final stage of understanding. So if only you know, and you can make a decision, or okay, I understand this message. Okay, I know what to do. But really, to demonstrate that you understand, you should communicate it to someone else. You should teach, and you should teach it, right? So we want to demonstrate understanding, different ways, by summarizing, by teaching. Right? So one way to become stronger and stronger at whatever you're practicing, whether it's English or something else, you have to explain it to someone else. So by, summarizing is kind of the written version. We want to just give us a simple case of what happened, or teaching someone, or explaining, right? So in my opinion, listening and reading is not enough. It feels like studying it, but it's not enough. Also, just understanding is not enough. You have to go to the final stage, which is you have to communicate it to someone else. So that's why we look at these stories. All right. So let's go back to, let's get into it. This is Shane, chapter 1. And I'm going to do it a different way than usual. I'm going to start really simple and see if I can build from very short, very simple, see what I can attach to it to make it more full, but not too much. So chapter 1, I have a stranger visits a family's farm. That's it. All right, so that's what happens. Shane, the character, let's put that in there. Stranger named Shane visits a family's farm. We'll put their name too. Visits the Starrett family farm. So already we've attached names to who are they. Anything else I can say? Let's explain this character, Stranger. Stranger is very cool, right? He just has an awesome look to him. The stranger, we'll say, looks very cool to the young boy. named, let's say his name, Bob Starrett. Starrett, I think that's how you say his name. And there's other details too, like there's other things too you could say, like the farm grows potatoes. I think they say potatoes and corn. Um, the stranger drinks some water, and let's see, anything else says, uh, they they the family invites him to stay. And so, yeah, I think you can see, yeah, this is maybe not so important. Like, what does the farm grow? Well, food in those times. I said maybe we'll put that in. Family farm in, I think, 1889. So a long time ago. And I'm not even sure. It might be Wyoming. Let's see. I'm going to say for now in Wyoming. Is that right? I know I should check it. We'll put an asterisk there. In Wyoming, in the United States. Right? So that's good. We got more character names, what, when, and then where. Should I Google that? Let's do that now. So, Shane, Wyoming. Is that right? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Good. I got Wyoming. Okay. I'm right. Okay. So that's right. Okay. So yeah, this part we don't need. Yeah, the farm, we know it grows food. Drinking the water, that's not so important, so we can cut that out. The family invites him to stay. Yeah, that is important. We'll put that in. Okay. Let's say Shane appears to be a traveling cowboy, and actually, yeah, to be a mysterious traveling cowboy. Which we'll say, yeah, which you wouldn't normally let in your house. Like, why would you let a random person in your house? That's a little bit crazy. When your child is there, your family's there, but they invite him to stay. Why? Like, I think there's one more comment I'll say. They gather a sense that he's a dangerous man, but is not at all dangerous to them. So that's a pretty crazy comment. Oh, this guy looks really dangerous, but I don't think he would hurt us. You can stay, no problem. And that's it. I'm going to say that's enough. That's about it. Okay, oops. These chapters are about 10 pages, and the book is like 100 pages, or 109, 110, and that's enough. Chapter 2. Simply... Oh, like... Put this down. A merchant comes from the town to sell Joe Starrett some farming equipment. What? I don't even know. I think it's called a cultivator, but I don't even know what that is. Or I can Google it, but it's not even important. Just farming equipment, some kind of machinery. And Shane makes him give his best price. That's it. So some tension and drama in this chapter. And see if I can add some more here. So a merchant named. I don't think he's going to come back. So maybe we don't need his name. We don't have to remember his name. So we can. I think I'm going to skip that. Actually, I'm going to say. Oh, I will put this in. The next morning, they all eat pancakes. I'll put that in. And then a merchant comes. Okay, so yeah, we'll say it's the next day. Okay. And let's see. Yeah. At first, the merchant, gives a very high price, but Shane reveals that he has seen the device sold for much cheaper, right? So Shane is interfering. He's kind of, it's not his business. This is between Joe, the farmer, and the salesperson. But now this stranger is joining in. That is, it's definitely not his business. He is interfering here. Let's see. So first, we get a high price, so much cheaper. This and this makes the salesman a little bit angry. And he calls Shane something. He calls Shane a tramp, which is like kind of a homeless, wandering, poor, begging, not someone you can trust. Okay. Yeah, we'll keep that there. Price Shane reveals that he's seen the device much cheaper, and this makes him a little bit angry. And calls Shane. This makes Shane angry, and we'll say, and he calls Shane a tramp. Then Shane kind of scares the hell out of the merchant just by making a serious face or something. His whole ambiance, his whole energy becomes very powerful, very dangerous. Then the merchant makes a serious face, and he agrees to sell the machine to Joe at a big discount, or at a lower price, at a much lower price. Okay, so yeah, that does take some time to explain, and we'll say then, oddly, Shane begins cutting away at an old tree stump to help as a way to help with Joe's farm work. He says something like, I have to repay my debt. Okay. So yeah, that's a more complicated chapter here, and I think I like all that there. Then oddly, as a way to help Joe's farm, he said, repay my debt. Maybe I'll comment on this. I think maybe Shane felt a little bad for interfering in Joe's business, and kind of, and and potentially damaging the relationship with the salesman, right? So I think that maybe that's what it is that the salesman said, hey, I brought you this machine, but you got to pay. And then the salesperson gave a really good price just because he was scared of Shane. And that's not really a normal business style, really intimidate. I don't know. It's not really good idea to intimidate your way to a lower price. So maybe Shane wants to apologize a little bit. Shane felt bad for interfering in Joe's business. So he went to work. So, he started working. Yeah, something like that. I don't even really know. Okay, now let's go. Keep going. That's enough. Let's go to chapter 3. Now, what's the most simple version I have? The two men rip the old stump out of the ground. Yeah, this is very, literally this chapter is about farm work. They start chopping and cutting at this old stump until they pull it out of the ground. And that's basically it. So this is, for example, here, if you read the chapter, that's it. That's what happens. So you can demonstrate your understanding by saying, yeah, to the father, we'll say more. So the father and Shane rip the old stump out of the ground. Yeah, correct. That is a good understanding. Now let's see if we can add some more color, because this was a pretty interesting chapter, or I don't know. It was kind of it was funny. Let's see. What can we say? Yep, they're just working and working. Let's see. At first, they chop at the roots that surround the stump, which are very hard and old. Okay, Joe had always wanted to get rid of this stump, but he always had more pressing tasks at hand. But he becomes inspired by Shane's resolute desire to defeat this old stump. So yeah, Joe the farmer, he sees, wow, this stranger's he's going really crazy at this stump. Well, I guess I got to do it too. And they both fall into a rhythm of chop, 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 chop. And then we'll say, yeah, ultimately they both put their backs into the stump and pull the roots and just pull it out of the ground. And it's amazing. Yeah, it is. It's dramatic. I guess at one point the wife says, we should use a horse. You should get a horse to take it out. But he says, no way. We started this just with our hands or with these axes. We'll do it this way all the way. And that's about it. I think that's all there. So maybe I can, I'll say this, maybe. Marion Starrett promised to make an apple pie, but it got burned. However, she also becomes greatly inspired by both Shane and Joe and decides to whip up a second pie. Because I don't know, because the atmosphere of the farm since Shane's arrival has become very has become full of motivated I don't know, full of has arrival has I don't know how I'd finish this. Farms rival has become has changed to accomplishing your goals with great urgency. Okay. Let's see. Well, but also, Mary Stuart promised to make an apple pie, but it got burned. However, she also becomes really most valuable. She said to whip up a second pie because we'll say because since Shane's arrival, Joe and Marion want to accomplish their goals. Yeah. Their goals. Get urgency. So yeah, maybe this is the theme of the story. With human will, anything can be accomplished, right? So never give up, don't wait, just do it now, do it quickly now. And that's it. Okay, so I'm gonna say that's what I got so far. So that's pretty long. Okay, yeah, chapter 1. I guess, yeah, that's what happens. You start, you want to be simple, want to be short, but eventually as you demonstrate your understanding, more comes out. You want to explain more, you remember more. And that's the study practice. You listen and you read information. We'll say information goes in. Information goes in. You understand it, and then you communicate it. We'll say this one, yeah, the information goes out. And this process is what strengthens your language, I think. It's not enough just to listen or read and then finish. You have to, process it or exercise it by communicating it, whether by writing about it or reading about it or making a YouTube video about it. So even this video can show you that I'm remembering more. I want to communicate more as I communicate it or demonstrate it to you, the listener, the watcher. Okay, understanding, summarizing. Yeah. All right, so that's it for now, and we'll see you in the next video.